Thank you.
A round of introduction. My name is Martha Comey, the chairperson of JSC, and I welcome you for this interview.
Thank you, Honorable CJ.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Isaac Ruto is my name, also Vice Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jacqueline Ngutia, Commissioner. You're welcome, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Daktari.
Good afternoon.
My name is Caroline Zilani. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Good afternoon, Daktari.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Mwanzo Mbati, karibu.
Asante.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Anthony Mrima, you're most welcome.
Asante, my Lord.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Charity Kisutu, you are welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Mheshimiwa. You're welcome. My name is Olwande Evali.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Very well. Mheshimiwa, if you could start by telling us your county and your ethnicity.
My county is Kiambu. My ethnicity is Kikuyu.
Very well. Make yourself comfortable. We want you to relax so that you can bring out the best of you during this interview. We notice you have not provided some documents.
Yes.
Which ones are those?
That's the LSK triathlons and the CRB one, but I have them. It's only that I'm not able to access them in my email at the moment, but I have them.
Or they are in your email?
They are.
That is the Advocates Complaints Commission.
Yes.
And the CRB.
Yes.
So make sure that you get them to us as quickly as possible. Now, you can tell us about yourself, why you think this commission should recommend you out of the 50 applicants to become a judge of the Environment and Land Court. We want to know what are your key competencies, and those competencies must relate to the nature of the disputes that go before the Environment and Land Court. What experience do you have in resolving environment and land issues? That is what we are interested in, because this is a very specialized court that you have applied to join. So if you can tell us that in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Justice. My name is Alice Macharia. I believe that I'm qualified for the ALC court, and my contribution, what I hope to bring to the court, granted the opportunity, will be both academic and professional. Reason being, I'm a senior principal magistrate, currently deputizing the head of station at Milimani Children's Court. I came to Milimani from Thika, where I had the opportunity to handle ALC matters, as evidenced by one of my sample writings. And before I went to Thika, I was based at KJA, that's Kenya Judiciary Academy, as a portfolio lead. In that position, I was able to interact very closely with the ALC court in terms of planning for their trainings and induction for the magistrate, induction for the newly recruited judges. I also participated during the Agenal conference. I was part of the team that organized and executed the conference, which had, over 25 chief justices brought together on issues of how Africa can green the judiciary. I was also part of the panelists during the ELC at 10 in Kilifi, where the idea of separating the environment and planning division from the land division was discussed and eventually passed. My lady, looking at my certificates, my LLB will show that I had undertaken the property, course, as well as the environment course, which was not elective. I also did the law of the sea, and I managed to get an A. So then, in terms of my professional qualification, in terms of now my work as a magistrate, I don't consider myself a stranger to the ELC court. Now, on the other hand, like I said, academically, my research acumen is very sharp. I'm able to identify gaps, and I actually take it upon myself to research into them. I have published papers, peer-reviewed papers, nationally, regionally, and internationally. I have also authored a 7-chapter book titled The Rights of the Child, Mothers and Sentencing, The Case of Kenya. The book was published in 2021 by Routledge Publishers. In 2022, I was awarded the Presidential Award of OGW because of the impact my work had in the country and also globally. Now, as pertains to my academic achievements, Honorable Chair, I hold a PhD in Human Rights Law from King's College, London. I also hold an LLB from the University of Nairobi, as well as I hold an LLM from the University of Nairobi, but my LLB is from Moi University. Honorable Chair, I did my pupillage at the feet of the late Commissioner Roslyn Odede. May she rest in peace. And I'm also a trained trainer in auxiliary matters, Honorable Chair. I am one of the 2 delegates that represented Kenya during the 2023 Octopus Conference in Romania, during which engagement the 76 member states who are present unanimously agreed to invite Kenya to accede to the Budapest Convention. On top of that, Honorable Chair, I'm an accredited mediator. I'm actually one of the magistrates in Mark's role. So then, I am thinking from that background, because I'm aware that the ELC is now looking towards mediation to offload the heavy caseload. I think I'll be an added asset to that court. Now, in terms of my professional qualifications, in terms of my skills, Honorable Chair, allow me to quickly say that I consider myself full of integrity and impartiality. I'm independent while still very open to feedback on which I thrive. I am diligent, Honorable Chair, and I'm full of propriety. I treat every person who appears before me equally. I actually see a brother or a sister in every file that comes before me. Most importantly, Honorable Chair, I see myself in every child who is brought before me, whether in conflict or in contact with the law. So then, given the chance by this esteemed commission, what I'll endeavor to do is to reach out to Judge President so that we can see how we can cascade the gains we are getting from stage back, and also during our service week, we go back to the primary schools so that we capture those youngsters' mind while they are still very young, in terms of sensitizing them and awakening in them the need to actually protect our environment and land. I believe that when we do that, we are going to raise many more truffeners in Kenya, so that when we are not there, we will have done our duty as mandated in the preamble to our constitution in terms of respecting the environment for the current and the future generations.
I think now we'll go to the technical area, and Commissioner Mwansa will read us.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good evening. Your Honor, there is an important decision by the Supreme Court with respect to the environment. It is known as the Owino Uhuru litigation or judgment. I don't know whether you know about it.
Yes, Honorable Commissioner.
So what was it about, and what were the principles that were enunciated by the Supreme Court?
The principle of polluter pays, Honorable Commissioner, is what was in issue in that instant, whereby now the victim, Uhuru Owino, was a victim of the lead that was coming out from the factory, and because it affected him, then now they were mandated to repay him hugely for the cause that he suffered.
And when you look at the polluter pays principle,
Yes.
Is it, when you said they were mandated to pay him,
Yes.
was the payment to him for suffering as an individual, or was the payment or the remedy to restore the environment that had been polluted by this factory?
I believe because I believe it could have gone either way.
Yes.
Because then the institutions that handle environmental management were also mandated to take care of that, and actually to prevent future pollution of the environment.
Okay.
So I believe it went either way to him, and also to prevent, to punish those institutions that are generating the pollution.
Okay. Now, secondly, I want to ask about the right to a clean environment, a healthy and clean environment.
Yes.
And we've had instances whereby courts have granted injunctions against loud music that comes from clubs and churches.
Yes.
Now, perhaps you can explain to us which principle is applicable when the court applies its mind to stop either a club or a church that has become a nuisance to a community or a neighborhood, so that the citizens are able to enjoy a clean and healthy environment.
The principle that would apply would be in situations whereby they are required to prevent the pollution. May I refer to my constitution?
Yes.
So then the principles that would guide the court are what we find in Article 42.
Yes.
And also, I believe, Article 60. Just a minute, please.
Okay. You meant 70?
Just a minute. Mostly, the courts would depend on the provisions under Article 42, so that then they are able to protect the environment. I'm not very clear on the particular principle.
Look at Article 70.
Article 70.
You are right about Article 42.
Yes.
But the enforcement mechanism.
Yes, Article 70 would also be applicable in terms of the preventive measures that need to be put in place, not only to prevent but also to discontinue the source of that harm.
Okay. Now, you've as rightly said, you have a lot of experience in the children area, and you say the Kenya Judicial Academy.
Yes, Commissioner.
And perhaps because this is a specialized court,
Yes.
what we are looking for is some specialization. If you can relate, are you able to relate how your experience and journey through the judiciary
Yes.
can be applied in this very specialized court known as the Environment and Land Court?
First and foremost, allow me to say that I had a keen interest in environmental matters, and like I said, that's why I took the law of the sea. The research that deviated me from my follow-up, in fact, my research project at that level, at the LLB level, was on property law. So it's not that I would be starting from nowhere in this particular field. I have the desire to grow in that line. Although I'm very experienced in children's matters, I am looking for a new challenge at this juncture in my life, and I'm thinking this is where I would be best suited, because I want to research into this area, and I have already identified aspects that I can contribute in that particular court. For example,
and what are the aspects?
Sorry?
What aspects have you identified?
For example, I have noticed a disconnect between the way things are right now and bringing in the child participation actively in terms of the protection of the environment. So then I have actually started on working on a paper trying to bridge the gap between the way now we are here and how now to inculcate in these children interest in land matters and the environment, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of whereby even in the recent public participation bill, there was absolutely no interest, no mention or input from the children.
Okay.
So then if we really believe that the children are our future, it cannot just remain in theory. So that is the gap I'm hoping to contribute into, given the chance, and I'll not just go about it alone. I also feel that in my area of specialization, which is children and the law, I feel I have done a lot. And I actually thought about it, and I felt like having done what I've done, it is the high time I focused my attention on another area of growth. So I'm seeking this position for my personal growth and development in that particular area.
Okay. Now, lastly, there is an issue, and I'm sure this was, you were told about, you were served with some complaint.
Yes.
By someone who said that you gave an order that gave interim custody of minors to travel overseas.
Yes.
And then you also allowed the defendant, you allowed the complainant, or you compelled him to cooperate with the applicant so that visas will be issued to the minors and they will be released out of his custody.
Yes.
What was your response to that?
My response is that was a very unfortunate occurrence whereby a really healthy working family had agreed between themselves that the mother goes to Australia for her master's degree. In fact, it was so working, it was such a working family, because even the complainant had agreed to be left behind with the children. Their biological children were 2. There was another child belonging to a deceased sister of the plaintiff, and he had even agreed to remain with this child. It was a very good family unit. And when he was invited, because when she went to Australia, she declared that she's married and this is the name of my husband. So when now she was about to graduate, he agreed to go, and they processed the document in totality. But then, just a few days, just when they were about to travel for the graduation, he changed his mind.
Okay.
That was the root cause of this. So then it's now the father to the lady, the plaintiff, because he was also going to for the graduation. I gave an order after interviewing the minors extensively. I gave an order that these children, because the graduation was happening over the weekend, they travel with the grandfather and come back.
Okay.
What I didn't know is that this gentleman was so, when we were sitting in court, and it's good because he was represented, he had agreed to the juncture, we had discussed this matter and the outcome that we had come up with, that the children go with the grandfather. But during the hearing, he told the lady that I'm even going to divorce you. So you can imagine you are sitting in court and the issues of divorce are arising, and the issue had not been discussed at all. That was the level of the bitterness that was there all of a sudden in court. So then, in my understanding, I knew that the children needed to go to Australia for the mother's graduation so that they can get motivated.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know if you want me to discuss the outcome of that.
No. I think that's a sufficient explanation.
Because
and it's okay.
Well,
yeah, done.
If you, I don't know if you want me to discuss it.
No. It is a complaint,
yes.
but your explanation is sufficient.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Justice. And Mheshimiwa, 2 issues from my side. One, there has been some concerns by non-citizens who owned freehold property before 2010. This pre the new constitution. These non-citizens used to own freehold property.
Yes.
And you are aware of what happened with the new constitution in respect to land ownership by non-citizens.
Yes.
They can only own land as leasehold.
Yes.
Now, these are people who had freehold interest in land, and then all of a sudden their interests have been changed to leasehold. And these people feel that they need to be compensated for that loss. Suppose they appear before you as a judge of the ELC, what is going to be your decision on the issue?
Compensated. My feeling was that pursuant to now the new constitution,
yes,
no foreigner is allowed to have freehold land in Kenya.
Yes.
And we had a reason, because you see, this is coming from where we are coming from, where we had our land taken and all that. So then even if they want to be compensated, my thinking would be that it is that we are not renewing their terms once they expire. We are not taking away, I could be mistaken, but my thinking was that we are not actually taking away their land, but that we are not going to renew their term, that is 99 years.
You may need to look at it from the perspective of this is an allocation which is initially a freehold.
Yes.
And then it is now changed to a leasehold. Rights definitely have changed. the weight
Yes.
which a leasehold certificate carries definitely is
it's different. Yes.
Now they are saying we don't have any problem with holding land in form of a lease.
Yes.
But because of that change,
Yes.
because of that change, we ought to be compensated.
It's tricky, but I think they have an issue there. They have an issue there. It's tricky. But then again, if it was freehold, how would we even go about calculating the time to pay them? I think I need to look at that. I am in agreement. It's an area that, because my issue would be freehold is just forever.
Yes.
So if I'm to reduce it to 99 years, what is it that they want to be compensated for? How long? I'll need to look at that, Honorable
Okay.
Commissioner.
Okay, now, closely related to that, can anyone or a party challenge the constitutionality of the Constitution?
The Constitution, and I believe Article 2, is very clear that nobody can challenge the constitutionality of the Constitution, because it's the grand norm. It is the final word, whichever way you look at it.
Yes.
It is the final word.
Yes. Now, with that position, I mean, that is the right position.
Yes.
With that position, now go back to the scenario created about the land ownership, leasehold and freehold. Will you still feel that they have an issue, they need to be compensated?
I wouldn't feel that they need to be compensated.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we are coming from a history where we know what happened to our land. So then, for the time that they've been using our land, how now do we even start calculating how to compensate them? And for that reason, I wouldn't.
Yes.
And I don't know which court then they would go to, because the final court is our Constitution.
Yes. In other words, the Constitution cannot be unconstitutional. What the Constitution says is that if you are agreeable, it is it. If you're not agreeable, that's what the Constitution says.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then they are foreigners, so and then they are foreigners, so there is that aspect of if they don't like it here.
Okay. Now, a new Constitution brought changes in the manner in which land and environment is administered and used in Kenya. And many institutions came into place. They were created to assist in the administration of land and environment.
Yes.
We now have the national government. We now have county government with specific roles. We have institutions like the National Land Commission and many others. What is the interrelation between national government, county government, and NLC, National Land Commission, in terms of land and environment administration? How do they relate?
You see, from the initial setup, then the land belongs to the national government was in control of everything. But then with the coming of the new constitution, these responsibilities were cascaded to the county government. So the relationship under normal circumstances is expected to be harmonious to an extent whereby if the county government feels there is a particular aspect of a responsibility that they are not able to cater for, they should be able to give it back to the national government to manage it for them. So then in the same way, now the National Land Commission is now in the counties.
Yes.
It is the one now seeing to the operation and the management of the land at the county level.
Yes.
Yes, Commissioner.
So in essence, if I get you right, you're saying the relationship here is based on consultation and cooperation.
Yes,
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. I wish you the best, Daktari.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mheshimiwa.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
So, just before I ask you what I had in mind to discuss with you this afternoon, I wanted to find out, did you apply for High Court?
Yes, I did.
So you made an application for both?
I made an application for both.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
even
okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
You wanted to say but even?
Yes. But even before when I was making the application, I was clear in my mind what will happen if I get, okay. I have been trying to apply. I've not been getting shortlisted.
Okay.
Right? This is the first time that I've actually gotten shortlisted. So then, when I was applying, I applied myself to first the High Court and then this other aspect. And I was very clear inside me that if I get the High Court, that's okay. But if I get the ALC, I really have an inherent desire in terms of environment and land. And like I said, if I had stopped my schooling at the LLB level, my research area at that juncture was actually, I did the project we were doing was actually property law. Yes, so I was very clear that I will be very okay with either, but I applied for both, Honorable Commissioner.
Okay, that is fine. I wanted to discuss with you your performance report from DISPOP.
Yes.
I believe you are given a copy.
Yes, I was given a copy.
And is it accurate?
It's accurate.
Okay. So from the report, what I've been able to glean from the report, unfortunately my screen has gone off, but I had already noted down some statistics. Your case clearance rate, this is for the period between 31st July 2025 to December 2025, you are at the Children's Court. So your case clearance rate was 101.
Yes.
Against the national average of 104, so you are falling short by about 3%. What I found most worrying is your court productivity, which is at 255 points against 370 points national average. Your personal contribution is also seemingly below the expectations.
Yes.
The expectation was 17%, yours is 16%.
Yes.
And your backlog situation also doesn't look very impressive. Not too bad, but not impressive either, at 26%. 26% of your cases are backlog.
Yes.
So before I even ask what you are doing about the backlog, I just want to understand what exactly is happening, because it looks like you are just below the national average in almost those areas that I've been looking out for.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. I took the opportunity to file my returns in my hard copies. I took the opportunity to file my returns as of June, the periods before. The reason
June
why
of which year?
June of last year, the previous one, and you will see from that I have been over-performing. But something happened to me during that duration. I lost my mom in September. Some of my siblings are out of the country. So it took a bit of time for the burial to take place. And then I had not gone for leave. My twin was having some challenges. When I was supposed to go for leave, I couldn't go, because with the Children's Court, you think very hard before you leave your caseload on another person, because it's extremely heavy. So then, now after burying my mom in October, I came back in November, but I had now to go for leave. I had been losing my days. So now we start with the head of the station, and we agreed that I proceed on my annual leave. So those returns are from up to, let's say, 24th of November, when I took my annual leave for the first time, and the whole of December, I was on leave. So those returns are barely for 2 months.
Okay.
But then again, if you look at my past performance, then you will see that I've been performing above par. As pertains to our case backlog, we are working very hard as a station. But you realize with the Children's Court, what really happens is that you would think you have finished with the file. but then they are not adhering to the judgment or the ruling. So the file actually comes back with applications after applications. So there is a way I've been thinking in terms of the backlog. We may want to relook the way the children's court is assessed, because it can even come back like even almost 8 years down the line, the file is back. So in our system, it appears like backlog. Maybe we need to come up with a way that we can say this is coming post-judgment. So then it's not seen as backlog per se, but this recurrence of the matters in the children's court. I think it's a unique circumstances because the order of the day is that they don't adhere to the judgment. So then you have now to move in terms of enforcing.
Is it just about adherence? I think I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Children's cases, that is why we never really close them. We
Yes.
never destroy them. They keep
Yes.
getting reactivated whenever there's a new development. So you never really know when to draw the line and say this is
Yes.
actually a concluded matter until the child maybe goes past 18 and is no longer in school.
Even after 18, Honorable Commissioner, they come for extended parental responsibility.
Yes.
So then if we even have matters where a child is like, we say child, but they are like 25. I have a matter that these children are now approaching 25. They are in universities outside the country. They keep coming.
Do those still fall within your jurisdiction?
They do extension of parental responsibilities
within your jurisdiction.
until they complete the higher education. So if you grant it, you have to sustain it until they finish the university.
Oh.
And in cases where now they are failing the exams and they are rewinding the year, you allowed it.
I get you. I get
Yes.
you. And my condolences once again on the loss of your mother. I got to hear about that.
Okay.
Your explanation makes sense, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good afternoon once again, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
I've gone through your sample writings. You shared your academic papers and decisions in sexual offenses, fraud, children, and robbery with violence matters. Looking at them, the judicial decision, there is consistent evidence of clear issue identification, structured reasoning, and persuasive application of law to facts. They are marked by internal coherence, clarity of expression, and there is a balanced judicial temperament. So the academic papers that you shared distinguish you as a child-centered, rights-based practitioner. You mentioned that in one of the sample writings you did submit on land. So that was a criminal bit of land transaction. The charges were on fraud.
Yes.
5 counts. In your decision, you proceeded to say that the prosecution proved its case beyond any reasonable doubt, and in addition, having found that the accused person has no legal claim over the land they had built and operates from, you proceeded to find him guilty for the offense of forcible detainer, contrary to section 91 of the Penal Code. These were not among the counts that the accused person was charged with. So how would you, in your judgment, add a different charge without according the accused person an opportunity to defend himself, the fair trial provision? So I just don't understand how you found yourself in that matter, in giving such orders.
Yes, I noticed the mix-up. Safe to say that that was a mistake that I acknowledge. But what happened immediately, even on the day that we were delivering that judgment, the parties, I could have asked for a revision, or even, but what happened immediately thereafter, the parties were willing to settle the issue.
Yeah, the parties, but this is a court, it's a court of record.
Yes.
And it's a very expensive mistake.
That
when
I
you
admit.
proceed to find someone guilty without
Yes.
going through the provisions of the fair trial.
that I admit that was a mistake on my part, and I own up to it, Honorable Chair. Safe to say that that matter terminated at that juncture, but I admit that actually that was the first time that I was doing a judgment in ELC. So I admit I add in that aspect.
Okay, so if you make a mistake such as this, so if you are to give you this position, and the time some of these matters you'll be handling are quite sensitive, and
yes.
You might as well find yourself destroying livelihoods.
I agree totally, but you see, we are learning, we are coming from somewhere. I had been at Makandara Court. My first posting was actually Utawala, then, but I moved quickly to Makandara, and then from Makandara, I went to KJA. It was the first time that I was doing ELC matters. Not to justify, I have admitted that I made a mistake, but I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot since then. I know the right thing to do as of now.
Okay, so at what point did you get to know that you had done a mistake? After how long? Once you delivered the decision? I
said I wanted to ask for a revision.
So the question is, after you delivered that decision, yes. That was on 21st of August 2023.
If I may respond.
After how long did you notice?
If I may respond, Honorable Commissioner, I said I would have asked immediately for a revision. I noticed.
So you noticed immediately?
Yes.
Okay. But that was the question I was asking.
Immediately,
yes.
And I had the opportunity to ask for a revision, but immediately the parties reconciled.
But it's still on record that they were found guilty for the 5 counts,
yes,
including one which there was no fair trial.
You see, there is
okay.
Let me just conclude. Yeah. Once you realize you've made a mistake, you can amend you can ask for a revision, and I have admitted that I made a mistake, but the parties sorted out the matters immediately, so we let it rest at that. But okay. Again, I say I have improved a lot. That was the first decision that I made in ALC, and I have learned.
TLC, a criminal matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And Mheshimiwa, you started your opening remarks by saying that you have a strong passion on integrity.
Yes.
So could you tell us the legal framework that exists to mitigate corruption in this country, and how you will contribute to a strong ethical culture in ELC?
We have the conflict of interest. We also have the anti-corruption.
Conflict of interest what?
Act.
Of which year?
It's recent. I'm not very sure, it could be last year, but I'm not very clear on that. We also have the Anti-Corruption Act and the Leadership and Integrity. But most importantly, the Constitution guides us towards that.
Okay, go on. I'm waiting.
My mind is escaping. My mind is.
Please come back to yourself. Take some water.
It's running away from me.
Yeah. And relax.
Thank you.
You had mentioned a few, the legal framework. You are still going on the legal framework? that exists to fight corruption in this country. And then the second part, you were to tell us how you will contribute to strengthening ethical standards or ethical standards in ELC.
So first and foremost, like I said, I consider myself clothed with integrity. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to exercise that, like I've always done in my court. Because you see, sometimes it's your repute that goes ahead of you. If I move to ELC, I think the ground knows that I don't go that way, right? So then I don't think anybody will have the courage to approach me with issues touching on corruption, because even my court, those working under me, are very aware of how I go about serving the nation. That is what I'm at my personal level. That is the best I can do.
What about at the court level?
At the court level, it's just to sensitize really those working under me, not to engage in any form of corruption. I know people can use your name. They can say that we are picking this money for so and so, but then again, I will sensitize them on how not to go about engaging in corruption. You know, it may not be the right approach, but as a Christian, I believe that even if we keep talking about corruption and we are not talking to the inner person, they will still do it. So then I'll endeavor not to preach to them, but I'll endeavor to show them it really doesn't pay, because really what follows you after that, you scatter your blessings for you and for your future generations. So I'll discourage them with that truth, because that is actually what it is. At the level of the court, what I think ought to happen is that people get frequent meetings. I remember when I was in Makandara, we used to have what we were calling morning tea, just to sit together and just strengthen each other and review and give feedback at that level. Instead of, before you even escalate it, you see how to stop it at that level, at the station level. So then maybe, I don't know how it's done there, but then I could reach out to the judge president to see if we can have that meeting, morning meetings, just to share on how you are managing, and also to see if it's increasing or it's reducing. Because we have to police ourselves when it comes to corruption. We have to police ourselves first and foremost, before then it, we escalate it to the other bodies, because there are bodies like anti-corruption that is enabled to take care of that. But even before it gets there, we need to police ourselves first and foremost, and then our court stations, and work together harmoniously.
Okay, very well. I wish you all the best. I want to hand you over to the Vice Chair. Sorry, Commissioner Nzilani.
Yes, I will do the giving. All right. Commissioner Nzilani.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Mheshimiwa, I have one or two questions for you.
Yes.
Now, what aspects of this position you're seeking do you think will pose the greatest challenge to you, and how have you prepared yourself to handle these challenges?
This position comes with fraud. We are coming from a situation whereby even the titles in Kenya, one piece of land can have like 4 or 5 titles. So that is the first challenge that is existing at the moment. But then now, with the guidance we have from the Supreme Court, because now we know that if there are multiple titles, we must necessarily drill down to the mother title, the root of title. I know that's a big issue there, but then again, now we are guided. That is where the titles are many, and where the titles are not many, then we can stick with the way we were doing things before, that is the torrent system. So then that now, if it's one title, we are good to go. But then again, there is a challenge that really is not in that court, but comes to that court by virtue of what is happening in the land registry. That one now, I don't know what we can do about it as a court. Again, I can only think of us working with the land registry to once cleansing, or cleaning, or just, overhauling the whole system, so that we only remain in our archives, we only have the mother title. The other issue that I know is there in that court is delaying tactics, like people don't want a matter to proceed. So you are fully prepared to proceed with this matter, but then there are all manner of excuses that I'm not ready to proceed, my client. So then what I'll do about that is what I've been doing in my court, and that is a no adjournment policy. If we sit together during the pre-trials and we agree that we are proceeding on this particular day, from where I sit, we will proceed. And I'm firm on that, and that is how I'm able even to finish up on my matters. The other challenge that is there, like every other, court in our country, we are short of finances. And that is big with the ALC, because then it curtails the desire to cascade the courts to as much as we would, the judiciary would desire to do it. So there is that financial challenge that is there. There is also the issue of the backlog. The backlog is major, and like I said, what we can do there is look for other ways of resolving disputes. I'm a mediator. I cannot now mediate, but then I know how to go about steering parties towards mediation. On top of that...
Okay, fair enough. I think with those responses, I'm satisfied. Have you been a head of station?
No, I've not been a head of station, but currently I'm deputizing the head of station at Milimani Children's Court.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're the level of a chief magistrate?
I am a senior principal magistrate.
You're a senior principal magistrate.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to know, is there anything you've done in the area of protecting those who work under your supervision against sexual harassment in the workplace? Any practical strategies you put in place?
What I do, it's not official. It's not official, but then again, the team working under me, there is a way I'm able to reach them so that they look after each other's good. It's not something that is being done procedurally, but what I have done is just to make us a team, a family. I make them aware that we spend so much time together in the court. 5 days we are there from 8 to 5, and we are at home for only 2 days. So what I've done is just to bring them very close together to a level whereby in my court we have not had that experience, because I believe in being preventive as opposed to being proactive, that it has happened, now we are faced with this situation. For me, I believe in the inner person, in a way that I'll talk to them so that it doesn't happen from the onset.
Okay. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be official. It's your way of doing it.
Yes.
And I think you're doing it well.
Yes.
Thank you, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Get a clarity. Mheshimiwa, when I asked you about the matter you handled, you said once you had read your judgment, that was it. The parties went and settled the issue.
Not quite. I said immediately after that I wanted to take some measures. Immediately after that I wanted to take some measures, but by the time I was finishing, because they were present in court.
So you sentenced the accused person? After you read the judgment, did you sentence the accused
No,
person?
I didn't get to that juncture. I just pronounced myself in terms of conviction. We didn't get to sentencing.
Because I've just gone to EKLR and found a decision of the High Court challenging your judgment and sentence. So which
In
means
that
you actually,
particular
yes, in
matter?
that particular matter. And the court faulted how you were able to establish whether the accused person was guilty or not. And what the court finally did was to set aside your judgment and conviction. So I'm
I
just
did.
I'm just trying to imagine if you say you are wrong. I'm just putting myself in the shoe of this accused person. That's Edward Samuel Ngugi. If you, for example, you found them guilty on 21st August 2023, I assume maybe you sentenced them on 21st August 2024. They could be in prison serving sentence, so it took them 1 year for the court to address the mistake that you did. Why was it so hard for you, as you rightly put it, that you could have approached the court to tell the court that I have made a mistake?
I'm not privy, on a sincere note, I'm not privy
Okay, so if
to
you
that
get time,
development.
just go to
because
the High Court.
yes, I will do that. And I
Okay.
said I am sorry about that. But what happened immediately after that, these parties, they were all there. And
That's
said,
what I'm telling you, Honorable.
yes,
You know, I was guided by what you had mentioned.
yes, and
that
I
they
appreciate.
settled. But there's a High Court decision by Justice Roda, dated 15th October 2025, setting aside your conviction and sentence. So just started trying to address the issues I was telling you that I had concerns with how you ruled on that matter, and the judge agreed with my sentiment. So create time and read it.
I will.
Thank you.
I will, and apologies for that. I own up to that, Commissioner, and my apologies. I'll look into it. But like I said, I've gotten much better. Thank you for that update. I didn't get that case back, but I'll follow it up. Asante.
Now, on matters environment, what is climate change and what causes climate change and what are its effects?
So, climate change is the shifting of the, how do I say, the order of the climate as we know it, which is caused by issues like cutting of the trees, deforestation, and the draining of the water bodies, so that there is imbalance in the climate as we know it, and the effects of climate change are adverse in terms of in every aspect, whether agricultural or the way people live. There are adverse effects.
Have you come across rising temperatures?
Rising temperatures.
Yes. What causes the global rising temperatures?
Yes, that's one of the other aspects of the climate change, Honorable Commissioner.
One aspect or the main one? Okay.
I'm guided.
All right.
I'm guided.
Okay, fine. So how can it be addressed?
How it can be addressed is doing the opposite. In our scenario, planting of trees would go a long way in taking care of that, and then avoiding that's planting the trees, and then avoiding the use of like charcoal, the produce that we get from cutting the trees. Like I said, that's all is coming up.
Okay.
I
Use
think my mind is,
alternative energy sources.
Yes,
Okay, thank you
alternative
very
energy
much.
sources.
Thank you very much, and wish
Thank
you
you.
well.
Thank you. There is something curious I'm seeing about your documents. You finished A-level, you went to work, and then you went to the university 10 years later?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I finished A-levels, and I didn't go to university immediately. I belonged to the, it was called, not the main
The
system.
Form 6, you went to A-level?
Yes, I went
Form
for
6.
A-levels.
Yes.
But I pursued the family line. For those 10 years, I chose to get a family.
Okay.
Yes.
So you settled
And,
your
and
family?
after getting, when my last born was exactly 2 years, that is when I went back to school.
You went to Moy University?
I went to Moy University, and then, and I never got even a soup on a chair.
You never?
Yes, I didn't get a supplementary,
Uh-huh.
despite having 3 children and, all the baggages. Maya Angelou's
Yes.
urges ladies to dare to dream despite the bondages of womanhood.
Yes.
So I dreamt on.
So you bore that stoically?
Yes, I did it.
Up to PhD?
Up to PhD at King's College London. And actually, Honorable Chair, I finished ahead of my class. I was given 4-year study leave by the emeritus CJ, Dr. Willie Mutunga, but even before the time was up, because I had left my children behind under the care of my husband, I worked very hard and finished way ahead of my classmates. So by September, I was back at Makandara.
Very well. Congratulations. I think this brings us to the end of the interview. And before we release our candidates, we always give them an opportunity to also engage us.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First and foremost is to thank the Commission. When we get in here, we are very scared. You make us comfortable as much as you can. You urge us to take water. We even forget we are supposed to take water. It's very scaring. So those little things that you are doing, you are getting them right, because you are enabling us not to forget our voices. We are not taking it for granted. And this commission is what is forming now the benchmark, because you're doing the right thing for Kenya. We really appreciate every gesture that you are doing, and it's public. So I'm grateful for that. But at my personal level, I think I owe it to myself to just share a bit of that journey that we have mentioned on a light note, because my career progression and my professional life is guided by a nickname that my father had for me. Before even I went to nursery school, my father had nicknamed me a judge. And we didn't even have a judge in our village. It was not actually until I was in standard 7 that I met the first lawyer, but he wanted me to be a judge. So I wake up asking myself, how close am I edging to my dream of becoming a judge? And I sleep thinking, what gains have I made? And where did I fall short? Like the way Commissioner has said that I made that decision. Where did I go wrong so that I make myself better to achieve my dream? If you look at my papers, although this is my 20th year as an advocate, owing to that, you will see that I've been in public service. I've worked with the executive. Before then, I have worked with the legislature and now the judiciary. It's been a very long journey, and here I am. And I want to appreciate this commission because, like I said, and I underscore, when I felt that I can start applying for judgeship, I never got, shortlisted. So this is the commission that has actually shortlisted me. So I trust
bringing you closer to your dream.
Bringing me closer to my dream. And the duration from the time I saw my name in the shortlist, that duration has been exciting because it's the closest I have been. Even today, as I prepared, I knew that this is the closest I am to my childhood dream. If you come to the village, and Honorable Chair, they actually sent me to say thank you because you gave us a court at Kamwangi.
Yes.
If you come to the village and talk to the elderly people, they call me a judge, not because I work in the judiciary, as is always the case, but because they knew the nickname that they called me by. So I'm trusting this particular commission to find me. I know the positions are few, they are just 10, but I'm trusting this commission that is the first that shortlisted me to find me one among the 10.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We wish you well. We wish you
I also
success.
wish you God's blessings. I know you are also human like us, but God will give you the strength to continue doing what you are doing for our country, and we honor you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate those kind words, and on behalf of the commissioners, I wish you every success.
Thank you.
We will get in touch with you when we complete the exercise. It's a tough one, like you have said, but we always encourage our candidates to continue dreaming and never give up. Never give up on your dream, and keep up that resilience, of hard work and determination, serving Kenyans. You are now released.
Thank you.
Take away your water.